And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another great episode of Next Round Sports. This is Chris Porter here with Caleb Culver, Jeff Amos, ready to jump into another week of exciting news coming out of the sports world. How you doing tonight, gentlemen?
Oh, we're
Muy
doing pretty
bueno.
good. I just had to close out my Chris Dunn Wikipedia page thanks to you. But
Oh,
we're
you're
good.
welcome. Yeah,
Don't forget Devin
he's running
Cotter.
the bit. Was it Sacramento now?
I think Utah
Utah,
latest
Utah. That's where it was. Yeah,
Mm,
is
Utah.
for Chris
or
Dunn.
Yeah,
So great.
well, eh, in our pre-conversations, we got into some Providence talk with Providence able to knock off Georgetown earlier today. We'll get into that later on as we get to college basketball. But first, we want to go ahead and jump into NBA action going on right now. Um, Mavericks right now currently playing Golden State and really needing this game here, especially with just a couple games over Golden State in the play-in. Golden State holding that 10th seed right now, and Golden State playing tonight without Steph Curry, who has an ankle injury, I do believe. So
yep.
you this is what you need these wins right now. They've been playing pretty hot lately. They've been able to get away from the losing bug and get some wins.
Yeah.
Doncic's making the
But you
record
beat
of
the
30 point
Pistons and who else though? I forget
Bulls.
remember who they played. Bulls, yeah. Like you're not
And
exactly
they beat
playing
the
the
Heat
top
last
talent that
Thursday.
you beat.
No, but you won the games you're supposed to win. Those are games that they
Right.
couldn't lose and afford to lose to still stay into the playoff. These are games you have to win.
Exactly.
And
Fair enough.
during this time, Luca puts up 7 30-point triple double games in a row.
Yep. He's
And then
he's
you want
had
to talk about
some
Gafford
kind of
and
3 or
28
4 game
consecutive made
records of it.
baskets.
He's got the Dallas franchise record now for most consecutive free throws made.
Mm-hmm. As we were saying last week,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it
Jason
makes more
Kidd
sense for
started
him to
listening.
play.
I think Jason Kidd listened to our podcast and goes,
Yeah.
these guys know what they're talking about. We should put Gafford in more. And since then, Gafford has gone in and he is producing. He's doing what you brought him in here to do, and
Yeah,
that's
he's rebounding
what you
and
need.
getting the lobs and those easy
He's,
chipping basically.
he's giving
But
you that
they are
mean.
still the Alabama of fucking NBA though. Like they can score all these points, they just can't defend anybody.
No, they can't.
Yeah,
You
but
got
since the podcast though, as you said, Chris, they have started Gafford every single time, and therefore they have won every single game since that point. I don't think
Yeah.
that's a coincidence.
All right. He's the magic man, according to Jeff.
He can
he's
be.
that guy
I'm
that
not
He's a
doubting
good
him.
player.
He's been
They
great.
acquired him at the deadline for a reason. They didn't
I'm
just
not
add him
disagreeing
for
with
the
that. He's
sake
been
of adding
great.
him.
I mean, getting him in, it's just you need a player like that that's going to fire you up, that's going to come in and be that
You need your
dog.
glue guys. It's like
Be
having
very
Cardinal
aggressive.
on the team and other players like that back in the day. Like someone who's going to do that dirty work and get in there. I think Derek Lively's still injured too. But hopefully, I mean, ideally we form like a twin tower type of thing with Gafford and Lively down there.
Well, Lively,
But
thankfully, he came back on Monday night and he had a huge game. He scored 22 and 7 against Chicago. So that
that's
was a
good.
big piece in that Chicago Bulls game. And Gafford got 20. So that's your two centers combined for over 40 points on the road.
Yeah,
That is,
and Luca
that's a
got
huge
30, I think,
performance.
that night too.
Gafford's mentality is when they brought in Tyson Chandler on that 2011 team. They needed someone big like that was going to come down there and dominate the interior and basically say, "This is mine."
Yeah,
Rebound, take a lot, and just give that mean personality. Give your team an identity, and that's what they needed. And I'm not saying that Gafford's Tyson Chandler by any means or anything like that, but you need a guy like that. And that's just I've seen a lot of parallels with that. Is that you needed someone like that with that mentality to come in, and that's the same one that Tyson Chandler had that really helped
yeah,
this team move forward. I mean, in
I can see
2011,
that
we
for sure.
were happy to see it. No one thought they were going to win the championship by any means, but it gave them that
Yeah,
little bit more identity that they needed, that harsher, that rougher identity. And I think Gafford is really helping along with that. Not going to say they're going to win the championship or anything, but he's a step in the right direction. He's the kind of guy that you needed. He was the right guy to bring in to this team of what they need to help solidify things.
Who's done with Tim Hardaway at this point? Because
I was done with him 2 months ago.
I was about to say, I think we were done with him at least last episode.
He comes in and jacks up shots. Why is Josh Green not getting in the game?
Why is Jaden Hardy not playing? Every time he gets into the game, whether it be 4 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever the hell it is, he always puts up points. At least he does something. Hardaway does nothing, and he doesn't play any freaking defense whatsoever. So what's the point?
Well, you know he's a shooter.
I'm so done with Tim Hardaway. I'm so done with him. I
do
not want to see him anymore.
In the doghouse. He did something to get in the kid's doghouse, and when you get in the kid's doghouse, you don't get out of it very easily. It takes a lot to get out of the doghouse. I don't know what he did.
Very true.
Kind of the sad thing is
probably the streaky shooting and missing it all the time. When he's not supposed to take that shot.
Carlisle for whatever reason.
I think that's because he was a rookie.
What happened to Jalen Brunson?
I think that's because he's a rookie. Carlisle doesn't like rookies.
Well, Carlisle
he likes him in Indiana.
Burke over Jalen Brunson.
He does.
He wasn't a rookie then. My point is, Jaden Hardy needs to play more for this team, and I don't see Tim Hardaway on there anymore. Throw Derek Jones Jr. out.
Well, I think this is the last year of his contract, so Tim Hardaway is probably walking.
If you don't want to play Jaden Hardy, fine, but just put Derek Jones Jr. out there, which appears that they're doing. I mean, he started tonight, and Hardaway only has 6 minutes at halftime of this game, so it's evident that they're having the same thoughts as we are. Yeah, they are. Jason Kidd is listening.
Putting out these nuggets. That way, Kidd can get an idea of how he can coach this team and maybe
get off the hot seat.
Get out of the play-in tournament and get into where you're in there. Or I mean, do they want to maybe stay in the play-in tournament and maybe get, Oklahoma City or, if Minnesota's able to crawl back in? Would you rather play them? Would you rather play Denver in the first round?
Or
I might rather play the Timberwolves.
I was about to say,
because cat injury, they're the most vulnerable out of the big three.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'd still be wary of them.
You still have to give Minnesota's, or if not Minnesota, you have to give Anthony Edwards a lot of credit here lately. He has solely taken this team.
Well, him and Rudy Gobert
on his
still
back.
playing killer defense.
And the only reason Gobert, or they lost that game against the Lakers, in my opinion, on Sunday is because Gobert didn't play. They were down 22 to the Clippers on Tuesday, who's fourth in the West right now, and they won that game by 18 points, led by Anthony Edwards. And they nearly beat Cleveland on the road, who's the top team in the East. Anthony Edwards single-handedly beat the Pacers on.
No one's arguing Anthony Edwards isn't a great player, because he is a great player. Just, is he going to have enough good games in a row to take a series? That's the question I have.
Yeah.
Well, the hope is that Cat is
especially
back
with somebody
in time
like
for
Luka.
the playoffs.
He's going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks, I think. Yeah, they're expediting it. So 4 weeks, we'll know a little more.
Even then, is he fully back at 100%? And if he isn't 100%, what rust does he have? I mean, there's just legitimate concerns I have.
There's questions. Yeah.
Right. And so I think there are legitimate questions too. And I think that's maybe a slight motivation here. If your team, say like Dallas, to get the 6th seed and face a potentially banged up Minnesota team in the first round to see if he can advance. I'm not arguing against that at all. I'm just saying that Anthony Edwards has done a hell of a job keeping this team afloat.
He has done well. That they're still sitting in the 3rd spot. They haven't completely down their 6th or even further.
Yeah,
I mean, they're only half game back behind Denver.
You lost a huge player in Cat, and the fact that you're still, like you said, you're only half a game back from getting back to the number 1 seed right now.
Correct.
You're doing good.
I just wanted to get that off my chest because you wanted to hear everyone on ESPN is saying, "Oh, Minnesota's done. The playoffs are over. Just
Who listens to those
reconstruct the
talking
NBA
heads anyway?
season.
They get it wrong
No,
every single.
I know, but I'm just sick and tired of
Yep.
it. I just want to make sure that y'all aren't listening to the same narrative.
Although we're technically talking heads now too, so.
Well, I
Does
know,
that
but
Yeah.
but we
After
don't talk out of our
25
ass
episodes,
like
yeah.
they do,
Or 27
just for
now.
the sake of doing it. I
Put
don't
my
make up
random
shit
stat
to
of the
rile
week
you
out.
up. I'll say what I want to hear. If I agree with you, if I don't, I don't, and I'll make sure I don't agree.
But for Mavs fans, a big
Fair
game
enough,
coming
fair
up.
enough.
They need to win these next 3 games, or at least 2 of these next 3 games, I believe. And tonight is very winnable against
I
Golden State with
fumble.
Steph Curry being out.
Especially like
Tomorrow,
you said, with no Steph Curry with the ankle injury, as you
that one
Mhm.
is winnable there. And tomorrow in Oklahoma City, I think is going to be a big game. That's going to be a big testing ground for how your team's going right there. That's going to be a
Mhm.
game that if you could pull that one out, that's good before you head over to Denver to face the champs.
And I think
And
if Derek Lively and Gaffer can play like they have been doing, I think you actually match up pretty good against Oklahoma State.
you do if they're healthy and they're playing and contributing what you're starting.
Well,
We're
because
starting
you want them
them.
to bang, is what I'm saying more than anything else,
Absolutely.
and get those easy
Yeah.
lobs and run.
That's what you want them to do. Let Luka do what he does best, find
Let
them
him
open,
cook, as they used
and
to
just
say.
let him be Wonder Boy, and let him then
Mm.
do what he needs to do to handle it. Kyrie do what he does, and let Tim Hardaway sit on the bench and not touch the ball. As long as you're going to win.
Yeah,
That
and the
make
last
Jeff
time,
happy.
and the last time Dallas played Oklahoma City was a month ago, almost exactly, and they beat Oklahoma City by 35 points. So it can be done.
It can be done. Definitely can be done. And that's going to be, to me, more of a litmus test than Golden State without Steph Curry. And that at least gives you then, if you're able to win 2 games in a row, okay, you're coming in after beating the number 1 team in Oklahoma City, going into Denver. You've got a little more swagger to your step than if you lost these next 2 games and go in. Or so
And you
even
can
with
do
those
that
teams,
home and a couple days rest too.
exactly, and with those teams that they beat in this little win streak that they had, where it was Detroit, it was Chicago, it's teams you're supposed to beat, but yeah, you won those games. You're glad to win this game, but if they would have lost any of those games, now you're talking about a different kind of mentality going in these bigger
There
games.
must win more options than.
Absolutely. Now, if you lose to
It'd be
Denver,
nice
it's
to
okay.
win.
It would be nice to win all 3, absolutely. But okay, say you do lose now to Oklahoma City and Denver in the next couple of days, but you only lose by like 2 points, like a buzzer beater at the end. You don't feel as bad about it, and you still have that game because you were able to win these easier games earlier. I mean, there's a lot that can happen from it, but just my point of view when it comes to that.
That's true. Very accurate. Very true.
And for the sake of
at least
looking,
go ahead, Jeff.
Oh no, I was just going to say it this for the sake of just for fun, looking at the East, nothing changes. Boston is dominating. They're the best team. In the
9.5 games over Milwaukee.
There's nothing left to say about
But
that.
is this going to be like the Boston Bruins last year, where they were just well out ahead of everyone, just completely dominating the whole thing? No one can beat them. They're going to go. They're going to take their way all the way to the championship and get knocked out in the first round. They already proved last year as the number 1 seed they could get knocked out by the 10th seed by Miami. So this team has to prove it in the playoffs. They can do whatever they want in the regular season until they do something in the playoffs. I do not believe in the Boston Celtics.
Well, the scariest thing is if the Heat come out again. I think that'd be the team to worry about. I mean, the 76ers,
yeah.
But the Heat would, of course, be the ones that still worry me. But, I mean, you can't count out the Hawks either. Trae Young can kill you on anybody. It can kill you on any given night.
I think they need to worry about Milwaukee coming in, even if they make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they and Milwaukee's still there. That's the team I think they really need to worry about, because this is a different Milwaukee team than what it was before. And adding Dame Lillard,
even with the whole Doc Rivers,
and I'll eat crow on that. I'll eat crow on that. I was wrong. I was wrong.
They've righted that ship. That ship is back to sitting buoyant now. I think they've kind of settled everything down. They're still I think that little spell actually may end up helping them going forward. So I still think that's a
Interesting.
team they need to worry about because you're going to have a motivated Dame Lillard playing playing some meaningful basketball here at the
Yeah.
end. I mean, they made the playoffs a few times with Portland, but they never really got out of the first round if they ever made the playoffs. So him actually having this, better team around to actually, make a push, I think he's going to play some lights basketball. I think that's going to be something really going to be a story coming up in Eastern Conference playoffs.
Ironically enough, Miami is the 8th seed right now.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
Put that out there.
If they come in and knock out Boston again,
Chaos, anarchy.
I will
I
personally
mean, Tyler
reach out to every
Hero could
Bostonian
be
that I
healthy
know
this time.
and just rub it in their face.
Yeah.
May
Even
have to
after
send
the
all my
Boston
Boston friends
rebuild.
heat memorabilia.
Poor Boston, Kurt.
Don't you poor Boston, Kirk? Don't you say that? No, he's had too many championships with the Patriots here recently.
Anybody in the Boston area has had too many championships.
Red Sox, no, there is no.
Deserve some downtime. Spread some love.
I need to reach out to him and tell him to start watching.
It's like the Heat are number 8.
All right. Well, unless there's any other things you guys wanted to touch here on the NBA, we'll go ahead and wrap up.
Sounds good.
Take a quick break, very quick break, and we'll be right back in just a few moments and jump into some college basketball as we're getting ready for March Madness. And welcome back from the break. Hey, it's almost that time of year, that wonderful, wonderful time of the year. March Madness is right around the corner. Got selections coming up on Sunday, St. Patrick's Day, of course, and we've got our bracket set up and ready to go. So we're going to be sending that out on our social media. We'll be letting everyone know, send it out. It's ready. It's set up.
All you Twitter and the Facebook.
All you have to do is come sign in. It's ESPN, right, guys? ESPN bracket. ESPN bracket. Come in, sign in, set up your team name, and you have a chance to win a $50 gift card. It's not hard. All you got to do is beat these three idiots here.
You don't have to pay to enter. It's all.
There's no pay to play. It's all free. Come join, have fun, talk trash, ask our opinions, whatever you want to do. That's fine. Within reason. Be civil. Don't be.
Oh, one thing I did do for all those idiots that want to do 25, wanted to do 25 brackets. It's only one bracket a person. So make up your damn mind.
One bracket.
But I have so many scenarios.
No, you don't. Damn it.
Your name will be put in. We'll know who it is. So if you're using aliases, we'll find out. Can't win that. Just come in, put one bracket in, see if you can beat us, and have a little fun with it.
And our social media all has the same name, if I remember right. Next Round Sports, the Facebook and the Twitter.
So while you're there, getting ready to sign up, go ahead and like, follow, subscribe, you name it, do it. Join the movement. All right. Well, right now we're going through the different league championship series right now, league tournaments.
The main ones are kind of starting now, I feel like. But yeah, we've had a few surprising upsets.
We got a lot of the smaller ones that have already come through. So I saw that East State made it again. They're pretty regular showing up.
Yeah, but St. Mary's beat Gonzaga.
Team.
They did.
Yes, St. Mary's beat Gonzaga.
Gonzaga had won it 4 years in a row, but they got shut down by St. Mary's.
Once again, because they are a trash school that never deserves to be ranked. They are terrible. They suck. and that nothing makes me happier than Gonzaga losing. Like Gonzaga to me is like never mind, hold on, lost the thought. I'll come back to you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Are you gonna say something like the Gooch of college basketball or something along those lines?
I would not argue that statement.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I just remember what I was going to say. So, what Stephen A. Smith is to the Dallas Cowboys is what I am to Gonzaga.
Just a hater.
Wow. Yeah, you're just gonna hate on them.
No matter what, they'll never do anything good in my eye. No. Ever since they had shit stash Adam Morrison.
Oh God. Well, yeah, because everyone hated him. But
he got a championship with the Lakers.
He did. They also said that he never bathed.
He didn't play.
Well, it didn't look like he's bathed much, so that stands to reason.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, some of the bigger ones going. Big East tournament's going on right now. I'm actually currently watching.
Providence Friars got a must win.
They did. I'm repping Providence right here for my wife, who went to Providence, as everyone knows. 74-56 over Georgetown. I'm sure
Providence is not on the bubble. They're in.
No. There's talk that they're still in the bubble. But
they're in.
They may need to beat to actually be secured to be into the bracket.
Yes, and that's probably the key for Providence is
just have beat Marquette. They'll be fine.
Currently in my current bracket,
they play Creighton tomorrow, so that is going to be a game that I'm definitely going to be interested in watching.
Yes, it will be. So it's one of those games where personally I have Providence in my tournament right now, but they're in the first four in Dayton to where they have to, play that playing game to get to the 6th seed, which will because they'll be an 11 seed game. But if Providence were to beat Creighton tomorrow, I think that would lock in a tournament bid for sure and get them out of the playing game. But if they lose to Creighton tomorrow, then there's going to be a lot of sweating in Providence. It's going to be very, very close.
I agree with you on that. I really think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
That's with the injuries that they've done this year. I mean, Carter was able to win Big East Player of the Year. I mean, great for him. But
and he should have had a running mate. But yeah, the injuries decimated that roster before it started.
They had too many games that were winnable that they weren't able to pull out. I mean, and then when you're also in there with Marquette, you're in the UConn and
I'm with Jeff. Like, to me, I've got Providence already in, even if they lose to Creighton. But I mean, everybody in the Big East goes at each other to kill each other. So I think it's going to be close, but I think Creighton definitely pulls us out.
Because you have Seton Hall and St. John's going against each other in a 4-5 game in the Big East tournament tomorrow, which I think the winner of that game, I think Seton Hall, if they were to lose that game against St. John's, they'll probably still get in. But again, they can wind up in Dayton in that first 4 scenario. But St. John's, in my mind, has to win that.
As of right now, about to go into halftime, Paul is only 2 points down from Villanova.
Wow. So if Villanova has a snowball's chance in hell to win or to get in the NCAA tournament, not only do they have to beat DePaul, who's the worst major conference team in college basketball.
Villanova's not even on the bubble. They've got to go out and beat
Marquette
or somebody.
They'll have to beat Marquette tomorrow as well.
Halftime. DePaul 25, Villanova 27. Halftime.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Villanova, I believe, was a 25-point
DePaul is the only team in the entire nation that has never held the lead at halftime the entire season.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, they've been absolutely atrocious this year. But Villanova's been pretty bad themselves.
Villanova has not been nothing to write home about, and they were still a seed higher in this Big East tournament than Providence.
Right. So I think that
makes no sense.
Well, I mean, it does.
It's like the history of them, the only thing.
Well, no,
Villanova
it's
beat
conference
conference
play,
tournament.
yeah,
They
but- yeah.
beat Providence.
Well,
That's
I
the
mean, I
problem.
get
They
you
beat
on
them
that,
twice.
but
If Providence had one of those Villanova games, Providence would be in fine shape right now. This Georgetown game would have been good enough for them to get in, but they got swept by Villanova. They played Villanova at the wrong time, and they're paying the price for it. Now they have to make sure they beat Creighton to definitely get in, and then if they don't, as we discussed, they're going to have to sweat it out on Selection Sunday.
So lots to work
much
at right
like
there.
our lovely Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, unfortunately lost to Drake. Indiana State did.
Correct.
So,
Now,
yeah, they're gonna be
again,
sweating it out too.
I have them as my last team in the NCAA tournament right now, which means that if any bid stealers come along the way, which means if the team wins their conference
somebody
tournament
upsets the conference.
unexpectedly and they win their tournament, then Indiana State would be out of that tournament. But for now, I have Indiana State barely in. And Drake, as we all know, when you win your conference tournament, you're obviously guaranteed to get the bid and avoid the play-in game.
Right now, it's like I might make a bold prediction here. I think Creighton might win this Big East tournament.
Oh, that's a good prediction. I
That's a
like
very good
Creighton a
prediction.
lot.
Yeah.
But why go against your UConn Huskies?
Creighton just has UConn's number. It's ridiculous how easy they beat UConn in the history. Like it took them playing in their favorite home stadium to finally beat Creighton after 7 tries when they were playing at home. So, and that includes the team last year that won the national championship.
My son Mike calls them the Bluebird team. He likes the Bluebird team.
Bluebirds. They're a good team. There's a good team to like. I mean, they're getting hot at the right moment, but I'm thinking Creighton might win this. But I still think that leaves UConn at a 1, though, I think.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say that the next topic for college basketball
might hurt their number 1 overall, though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It definitely would hurt them. Sure. I still think them as the number 1 seed. They're too good.
Right.
Yeah. We don't know who the number 1 overall seed's going to be, but we do know this regardless of how they play in the conference tournament. Houston, UConn, Purdue, they're for sure number 1 seeds, regardless of what happens in their respective conference.
Yeah.
I think we can agree on that. Now the question is, depending on the final number 1 seed between Tennessee, Arizona, and North Carolina. Right now,
I don't understand why people have
the number 1 seed.
I don't. I got Tennessee there still.
A lot of people
most
people have Tennessee right now as their other number 1 seed.
I have Tennessee as long as Tennessee can play well in the SEC tournament.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they flunk out soon against, say, an Alabama or even a Connecticut or an Auburn, I think they're going to have problems. Without Tennessee winning the SEC tournament, they are not a number 1. And North Carolina, in my opinion, moves up to that.
Arizona to me is not in the conversation. Arizona's got to win the Pac-12 to be in the conversation.
Hands down. Hands down, Arizona has to win the Pac-12 tournament.
But so does Tennessee, in my opinion, to be the last number 1.
Yeah, the only thing
and I might even argue the same thing with North Carolina.
North Carolina will have to win the ACC tournament. Now, I'll say this. What's going to be interesting is if North Carolina and Arizona were to both lose their conference tournaments on Saturday night, that SEC championship game is on a Sunday afternoon. Typically in the past, the NCAA selection committee, they say every game matters and all these tournament games matter until the very end. But I think if Tennessee just shows up and plays well against Kentucky without a win, I think Tennessee.
You got Tennessee versus Kentucky in that SEC, do you? You falling off the Auburn bandwagon?
Well, Auburn hasn't beaten anybody. Auburn, they look great in the computer metrics, but at the end of the day, you have to beat somebody. Auburn, if you look at Ken Palm, one of the most balanced teams in the country.
Yeah.
However, Auburn has only one quad 1 victory in the net. So at some point, you're going to have to beat somebody, and Auburn hasn't proven that yet.
As you were saying, of number one overall, I honestly believe that if Houston goes out and wins the Big 12, they will be the number one overall seed.
100%.
Especially if
UConn,
especially if UConn loses.
Well, UConn loses to Creighton, yeah, that is. Now, if UConn wins and say they blow out Creighton, by 20 points, and Houston only wins by, I'll say they play Baylor and they only win by like a bucket, I could then see UConn jumping that. But
yeah,
that's going to be.
I'd have UConn, as long as UConn wins, I have them as the number one overall personally, with Houston as my number two. But I think it could easily be flipped the other way. I mean, like you said, the Big 12 is a great conference, and the Big East has had a down year as far as overall quality. But
I
this
think
UConn team's they're in, like you said, that Kim Pop rating. Ooh, they look good.
I think if Houston wins the Big 12 tournament, then I think they'll get the number one overall seed. But I mean, if you want to put UConn up there, if they win the Big East tournament, that's fine too. I'm not going to argue against it too much. But from what I've seen this year from Houston, they're the best team I've seen in the country. And if they win their conference tournament, they deserve to get that number one overall seed.
Yeah, anytime Houston's super rocking, they usually find a way to fall out about the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
that's true.
Somehow.
While we're talking Big 12, the team that I had higher expectations for, Texas losing to Kansas State in the first round, 78-34.
I'm not sure they're going to make the tournament, in all honesty.
They'll get in.
I think with the pedigree, they're going to get in, but it's going to be Well, I'm interested to hear your take on OU, actually, Jeff and Porter. Do you think they're going to get in with their loss to TCU?
Absolutely not. I have no doubt. I do have no belief that OU is going to make it.
Because OU was ranked more recently than Texas has been ranked.
They were, but I think they've fallen bad. I don't think Texas should be in it either. I don't think either one should be in it, to be honest.
Fair enough.
I think Texas will get in.
Short
sweet.
No, I think Texas will get in. I think the eye test shows that they're a top, 30 team in this going to the tournament. I think they'll be somewhere in that 9 seed range. Now, as far as OU is concerned,
that's generous, in my opinion.
As far as OU, they may still sneak into this tournament, but if Cincinnati makes both of their free throws at the end of regulation on Tuesday night and beats OU, and OU has a 7-11 record going into the conference tournament, and then they would have lost today to TCU, you can't tell me that this team is in. Everyone has had OU solidly in this tournament all year long, but if I'm OU, I'm sweating my balls off getting into this tournament. I don't. They still, again, they may get in. Maybe they'll get into the first 4 team, but by no means are they a lock. Or by no means
they better not take my Indiana State spot.
Yeah, by no means are they a should get in team either.
They take Cream Abdul Jabbar. By God,
they need to sweat their balls off.
Oh, they should.
I mean, and if I'm OU, I'm not sleeping well until I get in on Sunday, and I don't know if they will get in or not.
I don't think they will, because they've just been so lackluster all year long. I mean, and then you go out and get beat by 7 points by TCU. I mean, come on. TCU
wasn't as close here. That game was not as close as that score indicated. TCU dominated that
They're
game.
not the best team in the Big 12. They're a very good team. They're a very, very good team. But it's not like you were against Houston or Iowa State, which I think are the 2 best teams in the Big 12 this year.
Oh, sure.
In my opinion. But, I mean, you didn't even show up there against TCU. I mean, it's not far from Norman to Fort Worth. It's not far. I mean, come on. It's a close, could be rivalry. I guess it is rivalry now, since TCU's been in the Big 12 long enough now. But still, it's like you didn't even show up
until OU leaves next year.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So that happens. That's a different conversation.
I just think for people that think OU is comfortably in, I think they have some serious problems, and I don't. They should be sweating it out on Selection Sunday.
Well, I agree completely.
Yeah, very true.
And I'll say this, too. There's a lot of teams for the Big East like Seton Hall, Providence, St. John's, who I would personally, from the eye test, put in over OU right now, regardless of results.
Oh yeah, there's a lot better teams
moving forward.
Agreed.
So we'll see. But again, I go back to the bubble game tomorrow, St. John's and Seton Hall. I think the winner of that game solidly gets in. And I still think if Seton Hall were to lose that game, I still think they get in as well. But St. John's, I think, really,
they need to win.
Needs that game. Really needs it.
Fair enough.
All right. There's some good bracket talk there. We're excited to get our bracket set up. So please go ahead and jump in. Get your chance to win a $50 gift card and come have some fun with us as we get ready to put this bracket together and start watching these games. I know that in our next broadcast we'll probably all be having games on in the background. I know I will be as things are going along. So excuse us if we get a little distracted as well, but let's get this going. It's one of my favorite times of the season. I've always said that if I ever needed a surgery planned, plan it right around, or right around March Madness. You can always plan surgery kind of work because then you can take your time off. You have to sit down and relax, and just relax on the couch all day anyway. So you might as well sit there and watch all the college basketball. It's great. So yeah, if you were planning a surgery or something, this is the time to do it.
Just a life advice.
Yes, indeed.
Exactly. Plan it right to line with March Madness. That's what you got to do every year. Line everything with that.
Before I forget, I do agree with you, Porter. Kolick is at the moment not expected to play for Marquette in this Big East tournament. Originally, he was supposed to be playing, but now they're saying he's going to be ready for the tournament. But they said he should be ready for the conference tournament. Yeah.
Too bad Providence didn't draw Marquette. Because if Providence drew Marquette, I think Providence could easly beat them.
Without Kolick playing, yeah, that's highly probable.
Absolutely.
But then they got to go against Creighton. But if they beat Creighton tomorrow, they're in. So
it'll be an exciting game to watch. I'll be ready for it. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back with some more in the next round. And welcome back from the break. And we're going to go into a little bit into the NFL, as this has been the biggest news last.
You got to dip our toe in it. It's
we have to,
crazy.
The free agency opening up for the NFL, and this has been one of the most exciting NFL free agencies in the last 5 years, I'd have to say. This is so many big names have been moving. All the pundits, their phones have been blowing up left and right. Tell us one you were telling me earlier, Caleb.
Oh yeah, he said his phone blew up more than him after a late night run at Taco Bell.
All you commerce people know about those late night Taco Bell runs. Woo! Good Lord have mercy. But we'll go ahead and talk about our teams in particular, and then we'll go ahead and hit some of the other big signings that happened throughout the NFL. And we'll go ahead and start, Jeff, over there with you with Cincinnati. How do you feel about new look of your Cincinnati Bengals?
I think we did okay. Now, granted, I will say this, and I told Caleb this off air, and it makes it feel even better considering we stole him from an NFC North rival in the Baltimore Ravens. We got Geno Stone for 2 years, $15 million.
That's the loss that hurts the most right now in our free
He'll
agencies.
immediately start for us, and
Be across from Jesse Bates, right?
Well, no, not Jesse Bates. We didn't sign him. He's on Atlanta now, but he was on Atlanta last year too. But the thing is, we have a much improved secondary with Geno Stone being back there now. We sold from a division rival. That was huge. And then we have Mike Gesicki, who's going to help out with Drew Sample. So we're going to
That's what I wrote down was Gesicki. Bring him in. He's always in Miami. He was consistent. Just he didn't always get a lot of touchdowns, but he was a good, consistent guy.
And he's a solid all-around player too, blocker and catcher as a tight.
And I think his production fell off due to the horrendous quarterback play in New England, in my opinion.
True. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're not far wrong.
And then we were not going to re-sign Joe Mixon. It wasn't going to happen. So then we traded him to Houston and
which I found that so weird because it was and then at the last second now he's traded. And to me, when you're in Houston, why are you going to trade for someone who you could have just signed? And if you,
but there's a lot of weird release and signings.
But the thing
why
is,
are you going to do that when Brad's going to get done? He's going to want to go.
Well, it's kind of like we talk about these. Some of these GMs are not right in the head.
He's going to go where he wants to go. So you're trading for a guy that's possibly he's going to fill out the rest of his contract and he's going to walk away and leave. So what did you even gain from it? Is he going to be motivated to play for you? What the hell?
Maybe behind CJ Stroud.
I think it's a great
good O-line
for Houston, and I think it was good for us.
Well, yeah, you think it was great. You actually got some compensation out of it for just letting him go for nothing. You damn right, it's a great trade.
From the Bengals' perspective,
Houston will just let him get cut, and then they could have picked him up.
He's mad because Houston got picked over, basically.
No, I'm not butt sore about it. I'm just saying that to me, why are you going to go give away draft capital for a guy that you could have just picked up for nothing? You could have offered him a better deal than what other people got, unless you were afraid he wasn't going to come to you. But then you could have sweetened the deal. So then you trade for him. But now that you trade for him, he's not going to play well for you. So what was the whole point of it anyway? Why are you giving away draft picks for a guy that you could have just gotten for free? To me, and not, I mean, you still would have paid him, of course, but you wouldn't have to give away draft picks to get him. That's my whole thing. I don't get that. I don't understand.
Well, you only gave a seventh rounder away. You only gave a seventh rounder away for him.
True, it's just a seventh rounder, but you're still draft capital. Why are you giving away draft capital for a guy you could have got for free? That blows my mind. Anyways, I digress. Go ahead.
I agree.
But also,
the more serious question I'd say is Zach Moss. You got to replace him. I don't like your running back situation anymore. I don't think it's going to be a very good running game.
Did you see Chase Brown at the end of last season? No, I don't think you did.
Yeah, I did. I've also seen Pollard have decent games at the end of a couple of years until
he didn't do jack crap for me.
Chase Brown
did not do jack.
He had like 2 or 3 games where it was good.
I won my league because I had a man called CeeDee Lamb on my team. With Chase Brown sitting on the bench, who I then cut for the championship round because he didn't do jack crap.
Right, but I think what's going to happen now is that we have a solid inside game with Zach Moss running the football.
Is he solid though? Is he solid
between the tackles?
Been solid.
And then Chase Brown is going to be the running back that catches the ball out of the backfield.
When has Zach Moss been solid? He has not been solid. He's not had a solid stretch in his career.
I think he averages 700 yards a year.
We could still draft somebody by the name of Blake Corum. I don't know if you're aware of him from Michigan. He's available in the draft. So I'm just saying that
there's still going to be there in the draft.
I mean, there's a lot of people available in the draft.
Sure. I mean,
why are you going to take a first round pick and put it on Blake Corum when you need off line?
I didn't say first round. I said third round.
Third round?
We heard first. We heard first. Okay. So
we heard first.
I'm not saying first round. I'm not saying first
Well,
round.
it's not going to be
Okay.
available the third for you. You're
He's not
outside
gonna-
in
yeah.
line.
Blake Corum's going to be
Him and the
available
Florida
the
State
third
running
round.
back Benson are going to be
Blake
gone
Corum's
by
gonna
the
be
second round.
available for no.
If
he's
they
not.
get
Blake Corum's
back
gonna
the
be
second round, then there's something wrong with him. I can tell you right now. There's
no,
something that we
Blake
don't know.
Corum is
Might need to be
available.
checked
If
out,
Blake Corum is available in the third round, and we get him in the third round.
Oh,
like
shit.
it.
You are down a pipe
You will
dream right
like
now. That is
it.
not absolutely not happening. That will not happen. You will not
You'll have
get
to
Blake
trade
Corum
up to get him in the
round.
second round, probably. But
Okay. Well, when we get him in the third round, I'll say hi to you.
Oh, I can't wait
you
to
do
watch
it.
this
You do
draft.
it.
I cannot wait to watch day 2 and see you eat that crow. I will happily fly down to Texas and serve it, bake it, and serve it. to
I'll
you.
fly up to Pittsburgh and serve you your crow.
Hopefully, you're not going to have it.
While you take me to
Right.
National.
Oh, where'd you go? Oh, there you
Sorry, my camera's out of focus, so I'm trying to figure
go.
out how
A
to
little
fix it.
blurry.
You'll take me to a national.
kinda-
Whoa! You're flying! You're flying!
Like,
What the hell?
the blurriness that you are
Flying.
right now is like what it looks like when I take my glasses off.
I know.
So now
understand
everyone
what
can
the hell
see what I see when I don't have my glasses.
You're
And you go, look
flying.
at that. You learn something new every day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, even though,
Yeah.
Caleb, you're not in focus, the Ravens seem to be in focus with what they were playing on. There you
Yeah,
are.
they've been pretty good.
Kinda.
Hey,
Derrick Henry. You're bringing in Derrick Henry. And
Kinda.
really,
well,
I didn't
you bring
think
in
that was
Derrick
the right. I
Henry.
didn't think that was the right fit for him or
It's
for
kind of
your
a weird
team.
fit to me, in all honesty, but the more I think about it, the more I do like it, because Derrick Henry has had a lot of tread on his tires already used up.
Because
So
they
if
ran
you
the
can
living
let
shit out of him in Tennessee because he didn't have a
Yeah.
quarterback.
Well, that and also Derrick Henry's style is just to run you and wear you down. That defense was dead in the second half, fourth quarter. He just ran for those big runs.
South. He's north to south running.
But now he can rest a little bit with Lamar Jackson running and maybe some Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill. So I think he's got the ability to rest and be able to take off on some of those runs a lot easier
What
than he has
happens
in
when
the
Derrick
past.
Henry goes down?
That's the unfortunate history of free agents coming
That's
to
why you
Baltimore.
have Mitchell and Justice Hill.
Yeah, you
because
got Justice
you
Hill and
already
Mitchell,
know
who
they're gonna have to go
they've been
with
pretty
probably
solid
third-
backs.
They're gonna have to go with a third or fourth
And
running
yeah,
back.
the
because
Ravens
they've
are going to
been doing
draft
this the past
somebody.
3 years. It's been happening
Yeah.
every single year. That's nothing
I
new.
mean, the unfortunate thing is I do agree with Jeff. Great pickup for Geno Stone. Unfortunately, him leaving, and Patrick Queen, one of our star free agents, leaving for the Steelers, going to Schittsburg with Russell Wilson. So
They're calling everyone a jagoff now.
maybe. But the main question is going to come into the fact that
Oh yeah,
we're going to have to rebuild at least half of our offensive line if we don't re-sign Kevin Zeitler. We've lost our right tackle and our right guard that started all games last year. So we got some offensive line question marks coming up for sure in this draft. My guess is we might use our first round pick on it. But we traded Morgan Moses to the Jets, and surprisingly, John Simpson actually signed with the Jets, the right guard, after we traded our right tackle over to the Jets as well. So they're looking to upgrade their offensive line. So they have half the Ravens' offensive line after losing Aaron Rodgers in 2 snaps.
Exactly, they needed it.
Yeah, which I think both of those are upgrading what they have. So it's going to be offensive line right now is the biggest question mark, I think, for the Ravens, and a little bit of safety and linebacker depth.
You think they kind of felt like they could lose some offensive line just because of Lamar Jackson's mobility?
Yeah, that. And I mean, they still got Ben Cleveland and Falua, I think, as a tackle potentially. So they have some potential in-house replacements. But if I know the Ravens, they're going to draft at least 2 or 3 linemen in this upcoming draft, as well as a running back.
And can also we acknowledge Marmaduke?
Yes, I did.
Your
he had
boy.
his 4-year deal. Yeah. Marmaduke. Got his second highest paid D lineman in the league now, behind only Aaron Donald. And we actually signed Brent Urban today too, late to a 1-year deal. So we got him back too.
Some more pass
Yeah.
rushing there, I suppose.
Yeah. But we did release Tyus Bowser, creating $5 million in cap space.
He was a
interesting.
bust.
He was a bust.
Yeah, he's been injured the last 2 years. He's played 9 games, none last year. He played 9 games the past 2 years, I should say, none last year. We also restructured Ronnie Stanley's contract, so we're keeping our left tackle. Saved $8 million there.
That's always good.
But one surprising too is Gus Edwards to the Chargers. A little surprised.
That one kind of. I almost sent you a message when I saw that go across.
That's a Harbaugh move right there. That's a Harbaugh move.
I agree. I agree with that. Because he reminds you of Crum from Makeup.
Gus Edwards, and then why do you think he left John Harbaugh and then goes to Jim Harbaugh?
Mm-hmm. Harbaugh to Harbaugh.
I don't think there's any.
Yeah, there's a connection.
It's not a coincidence there. They like the same style of offense.
Yep.
Very true. Very true. But yeah, overall, I think it's been a fairly decent offseason for the Ravens. We've had 8 people leave and only 3 people come back at the moment. But yeah, the main question is we got to rebuild the offensive line. Right.
So how many people have left from the Cowboys, and how many have
I was just
to the Cowboys?
That'll be the next one. Segue, Jeff.
you both get to, before we start this, DePaul 40, Villanova 32.
Are you
35 left in the second half.
Wow.
Go DePaul.
Anyways,
that is unbelievable.
It is
a time by time. It's on Fox Sports 1. I don't know if you guys get the game down there.
Oh yeah, I
turn it on.
Yes,
this is awesome
right now.
But I'm glad. I'm really happy for the both of you that your teams, are actually out there, making
doing things,
trying to improve your team. And now that's the thing with free agency is you're getting veterans, you're getting older players, and you have to pay said older players, and you're paying them for what they already did in their prime, and you're going to be getting past their prime, but they're getting paid for what they've already done. I mean, that's just the way that it is. You're not going to get the same product that you got for them before. Now, there's exceptions to that rule with quarterbacks, which one I talk about, the biggest one is, Cousins going to Atlanta. I think that was.
I can't believe he got that much money after an injury.
I can't believe he got that much money, but he's a good dude, and I'm happy he got the money. And I actually think
that's just how the quarterback rate goes. That's just how it goes now.
And I think that with weapons that he has, I think Atlanta has a good chance of winning their division with Kirk Cousins there.
Oh, that O-line's good. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Pitts.
Kyle Pitts finally actually getting to be utilized.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think they still have old Cordell Patterson still hanging around back there that they could let him run around a little bit too. So,
Yeah, let's take a look at that roster.
I think that's good. That was an exciting, move there with that. But then we come to my Cowboys who do nothing. After Jerry Jones says we're going,
you signed a long snapper.
Well, we re-signed our long snapper, which it's a very important position. I get it, but it was blasted out as this. Look what we did.
Yeah,
and it was on day 2. After they did nothing on day 1, and they were the last team to do anything.
You specifically,
it was
to all the Cowboy fans. In all honesty,
yes, you need a good.
All you hear out of them too is just, that player was too expensive. They went over our limit for them.
Zach Moss was too expensive for them.
Right.
Zach fucking Moss. No offense, Jeff. Zach fucking Moss got too expensive for them. That's bullshit. I'm sorry, it's bullshit. And right before we got going, I found out that they did sign Eric Kendricks, so they have brought someone in.
That's pretty good signing.
Good solid. He's been a great professional, and he was under Mike Zimmer there in Minnesota. So having a Mike Zimmer guy come in to help mentor these younger defensive players, I think that was a very good signing. I'm very happy with that. But that does not fucking excuse the fact
Agree.
that Aaron Jones got released by Green Bay so they could make room for Josh Jacobs. And you made no attempt to go after him. And he signed the next day with Minnesota for 1 year, $7 million. This is an absolute travesty. I don't care that Derrick Henry went away. I don't care that Saquon Barkley went to Philadelphia because he's just going to be hurt the whole damn time. And it doesn't matter. That causes more strife between New York and Philadelphia. But the fact that the Cowboy killer, Aaron Jones, who destroyed you in this playoff game, destroyed you. And every single time you played the Packers, Aaron Jones destroyed you. I've had Aaron Jones on this last year is the first time I haven't had him on my fantasy team in 3 years because he destroys people. He's a great running back. He's a good guy to have in the locker room. And the fact that you didn't even take and make an attempt to come after him and give him 1 year, $8 million, give him $8 million, give him one more year than Minnesota and get him down here to put with this team is a complete bullshit travesty. And I'm fuming that they did not even go
and that's
after.
before you even count who they've lost. Who they've already lost in free agency.
They lost Lawrence Armstrong to Washington. Tyler Biadasz to Washington. Tony Pollard, Tennessee. Didn't really care. They lost.
Yeah.
Pollard.
It was going to happen. Right.
But losing these other guys to Washington, going with Dan Quinn over there, who also, speaking of that, Bobby Wagner signed with Dan Quinn in Washington today for a year, for 1 year, $8.5 million.
He did.
Austin Eckler's gone there to Washington. They've really been. They brought Zach Ertz in. They brought Marcus Mariota in. They've brought a lot of people in over there at Washington. A lot of people want to play for Dan Quinn. I mean, don't blame
He's
them.
a player's coach.
Yes, but the fact that you didn't even try. You're not trying. You're saying you're all in. Philadelphia got better.
Saquon Barkley.
Washington. Although Saquon Barkley going to Philly, I was a little surprised that he went there, and the whole beef with him and Tiki Barber going on right now is
awesome.
If you haven't heard about that, look it up.
Yeah,
that is juicy right now. That's going to bring some huge heat between those two teams. I'm really looking forward to seeing those two fight each other. But I think Barkley got overpaid. He's 3 years, $37.75 million. I think that was way too much for an injury-prone running back. Could he be the best? He probably was the best running back in this free agency class. But at the same time,
overall,
it just sucks that he goes to Philadelphia.
Especially I was happy he went to Philadelphia because I think he's going to get injured. I think they're going to be paying him to sit on the bench the whole time.
The problem though now is, as we all know,
it screws up their whole budgeting.
Cowboys don't have a running back.
They don't have an offensive line now.
They don't have an offensive line. They don't have a running back. All you had to do was go 1 year, $8 million to Aaron Jones. Then you can focus fully on drafting a center with your first pick in the first round. Then, hey, you could. I mean, they've already
probably draft a tackle in all honesty since Tyron Smith's walk in the first round and take your center second or third.
Well, you
centers tend to fall unless there's
your other Smith take care of it. He played left tackle before. He stepped in and filled in. He could do it again. So if you didn't have the right tackle there, you can put him over and you just got to find a guard at that point. But I think, and you said this earlier, you need a center. You need that quarterback of your offensive line. And if you have the right center that you can get, that helps stabilize the line for the future coming up.
But you have to draft a running back now.
Biadasz wasn't the best center in football, but he was good. He was serviceable. He wasn't Travis Frederick, but Frederick, unfortunately, due to life and what happened, he had to leave the game. Bless you.
Thank you.
Which sucks, but I mean, they got Travis Frederick as the very last pick in the first round. So I mean, you weren't expecting that, and he turned out being a huge steal. He should have been drafted way earlier than what he was. They need to get a center with this first pick. They do, and that's what pisses me off so much. Is you had a chance to have a good running back, a really good running back that could sit there, and then you don't have to worry about it. You could have Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn sitting right behind him to help him out the same way A.J. Dillon, which I heard today. They're talking to A.J. Dillon. Why are you fucking talking to A.J. Dillon, but you didn't talk to Aaron Jones? What is wrong with you? A.J. Dillon is trash. Complete trash. And you couldn't
this
get
is why the Cowboys are where they are, unfortunately. It's
because
like
they don't want to spend any money. They don't want to
Yeah.
spend any money. You
they're
cannot.
basically the Clippers of the NFL.
You can't
They
sit
don't want to
there.
spend the money, but they still want to win as many
The
games as
Clippers in
possible.
the NFL, but they're looked at as the Lakers. That's the whole thing. You can't sit there and be the number one sports franchise in all of sports and sit there and try to run it on a budget. Go out there and get these guys.
Yeah, unless Jerry Jones all of a sudden is hurting for cash, he should be able to pay these guys.
Well, you still have to run everything on the budget. I mean, they have the salary cap that they have to do.
Yeah.
At least in MLB, you don't have to worry about a salary cap. It doesn't matter. It's paying what the fuck you want. But in the NFL, you have to do the salary cap, and they're so worried about the salary cap and moving things on. Let's move it down the line. Move it down the line. Move it down. Stop fucking doing that. It's like I heard this example on the radio, and it's freaking perfect. It's like, hey, we didn't get you this right here, but we're saving you money so that we can spend it there and get you a really good Christmas gift. And then when Christmas comes around, then your parents are like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't get you anything now, but we're really we're saving that for the next year. We're really spend something really great on that.
It's gonna plan
Keep
big.
kicking the can down the line. Stop fucking lying to us. Quit trying to line your pockets.
You
I
gotta
understand.
you just gotta stop believing the Cowboys. Unfortunately,
Well,
at this point, their management is just.
It happens every single year.
Means nothing. I mean,
exactly.
It's just talking out of his ass.
As it comes down, it is true to the statement that in free agency, in the first day, people are going to get more money than what they probably deserve. You're going to have to overpay that first day. Even the second day, you have to overpay. But at the same time, who's left after day two?
You start to find the leftover pieces.
The bottom of the barrel trying to find a diamond in the rough. And sometimes you have to pay a little bit extra to get something. And to me, a 1 year, $8 million deal for Aaron Jones, who's destroyed you multiple times in multiple games, can come in and be a tough running back, not only just a tough guy, but can also be a speedster as well. Just the fact that you don't even try for that is just absolutely absurd.
Yeah, agreed. And I think what's going to happen, unfortunately, is that Dallas is going to say, "You want to look at our free agents? Here's us re-signing CeeDee Lamb to an extension. Here's us signing Dak Prescott to another extension,
and Micah Parsons to extension, which you need to extend these guys. I understand." But at the same time, you have too many glaring openings that you can't sit there and say, this is what it is.
Of course. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that that's the mindset of the Dallas.
I know disagreeing. I know that's what their mindset is. But the fact is, other teams can do this. So why can't you?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh,
I heard this also on the radio. Got to give this more credit to 105 through the fan. I've been listening to him the last few days, just boiling, listening to all of this and everything else. But as it came down, I think it was Sean Sharif, who I gotta give credit to where credit's due. I believe it was him. It was him or RJ Chop that said, it's Steven Jones, because basically Steven's running the team. No one can argue that right now. Steven's running the team. He really is. He's making all the decisions. He's doing everything with that. Jerry has final say, of course, but Steven's running the team. He's doing all of it. And the way he's been running the team has made Daddy happy. Daddy's happy. If Daddy wasn't happy, he would have had to change things, do things differently. Daddy's happy. As long as Daddy's happy, why do anything different? Because Daddy's happy. Everybody rolls their spot. Gene, they all run their areas, and Daddy's happy. So it once again comes to any changes when Jerry's gone. when you can't make daddy happy anymore. Now you can do it, but at that point, are you so ingrained in what daddy wanted?
You don't know how to
That
run
are you
anything
gonna be able to
else.
make a change? Yeah, you're not gonna know how to do anything else. You're gonna do it the same way it was always done because that's the way we always do it. It just it doesn't give me any faith. It makes me feel more and more that I will never see another Cowboys Super Bowl win in my life.
Well, I think you will because
My
Jerry
kids made them.
Jones has got to die at least the next 10, 20 years, I think. I don't think he's
But
living
But with everything
much
is
longer
running
than
the
that.
same way. I mean, there was talk just a few weeks ago of that Jimmy Johnson was now welcomed back into the fold.
Yeah.
Right after the Green Bay game, he
And
was
he gave
welcomed
that
back into
very
the fold.
passionate speech during the
He
halftime.
did.
Trying to fire the Cowboys up.
I wanted to run through a wall at that point.
Yeah.
And he had been that he talked to Jerry after the game for like an hour, and he's been welcomed back to the fold. He's going to have some help talking into it. Okay, I'll believe it when I see it, because that's the only thing I can see that can help save this franchise. Is
Yeah.
Jimmy
is a great scout. He is a
yes.
great ability to tell players.
If Jimmy's able, if they bring Jimmy in fully, that wasn't all just talk. He's able to be brought in as just a mouthpiece, just to come help him, come talk. Hey, Jimmy, give us your opinion. What should we do? And Jimmy actually able to be there to help support and given power in that aspect.
Right.
That's the only thing I can think can save this franchise. Jimmy will have to come in and save it again.
Right.
That'd be hilarious, as if Jimmy becomes a mouth, or if he becomes the voice of this team, and then they win a Super Bowl again, but then Jerry still has the ghost of, well, you still did nothing without Jimmy.
At this point, I think Jerry's getting to the point.
But I think Jerry doesn't care at this point. Yeah,
I think Jerry's realizing the clock
to that point at least,
and it's going. I'd rather have another ring than doing it without Jimmy.
Exactly.
Hey, it worked. We're both many years past that. Our egos are past it. If I can bring Jimmy in and Jimmy can help me get this next ring so we can say we got it again, I think Jerry's gets to that point where Father Time is knocking on his door, and
I think so too.
And I think he's finally listening to it and going, I need to get one more. I need at least one.
Exactly.
And if I have, and I think that whole, if I have to make amends with Jimmy to do it,
right?
Do it.
That's
he
why
already did in a way by letting him in the Ring of Honor.
That's what I was about to say. By letting him in the Ring of Honor is when I believed that it was the final forgiveness between the two, and they could actually, okay, we can work together again now. Sad it took this long, but all right. Yeah. I'm off my soapbox now. I've said my piece. We'll go ahead and talk about a few other notable signings that have gone along through here. That we have.
I want to mention some props to ex-Ravens Flacco getting another year deal with the Colts.
Yes, he did. Send it over to the Colts. Colts will need somebody when Anthony Richardson, aka the new RG3, gets ripped.
Once he gets hurt again.
To me, he's just like Robert Griffin III light. That's just what it seems like to me. Watching him play, it reminds me of RG3, and I just see him getting hurt consistently like that. And I don't know if he has the eloquence, to, no offense to him, but RG3 is very well spoken. That's why he was able to turn his career afterwards into a broadcast career. I don't know if Anthony Richardson could do that, but apparently there were talks that he was trying to do a rap career as well. Wasn't that the story?
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson has a lot to prove before he could be a franchise quarterback. I'm not talking just, I think on the field he has a ton to prove, but I think off the field as well. So
there is one thing too I wanted to bring up too for you, Jeff, that we haven't mentioned yet. One of the big rumors right now is that T. Higgins and a first-round pick are going to be traded from your Bengals to the Vikings for Justin Jefferson.
I think it was
Burrow, Chase, and Jefferson all together.
Yeah, I think it was T and 2 first-round draft picks, and I would do it in a second.
Anyone would do that
agreed.
trade.
Yeah, agreed.
I like T. Higgins. T. Higgins is good. He's a great receiver. I'd love to have him on a team, but he's not Justin Jefferson.
Right,
No.
yeah.
So
Justin Jefferson is almost the best receiver in the league, and you can argue Chase is too.
Basically, you
could 1 and 2 in the league. Basically, is what you would have at that point.
You'd be the LSU.
Then you wouldn't have to worry about passing. You just running. Excuse me. You wouldn't have to worry about your running game.
And they were the LSU,
non-existent.
The LSU Tigers. They were the Tigers. They're just making Tigers there in Cincinnati. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Very
Move them right on up.
Bayou Bengals, and now they're Cincinnati Bengals. It's the same thing.
You just move. You just move up. Just go right up the Mississippi, like they just jumped on a little paddle boat, just went all the way on up, and made it up to Ohio, and got over to Cincinnati. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Yeah, if that trade is accepted, you do that without a second thought, and then in every cornerback, every secondary in the NFL is not looking
You're
forward.
put on notice, basically.
Cincinnati at that point.
The Ravens are just like, nope.
As long as Burrow is healthy.
Right.
That's why I think you got to get an offensive lineman in this draft early, Jeff.
You have to. Have to. That's the number of priorities. You got to build that offensive lineup and stop getting Burrow hurt. Because if he keeps getting hurt, it's the same Bengals. They're the Bungles still.
Yeah, but also, I mean, Joe Burrow needs to stay healthy with himself too, not just. It's not offensive line strictly. It's not always there.
Talking about him ripping heaters or anything?
Well, I'm just saying that he better not pull his calf again. He better not have a ruptured appendix again.
Well, that initial injury came from an O-line issue where he got sacked, if I remember right.
Well, I'm just saying that not everything is perfect. So, sack up. Let's go.
Well, talking to some other teams that are going on, we'll go ahead and keep it up there in your AFC North. Cleveland bringing Jameis Winston in. Surprise there after letting Flacco walk away over the Colts after what he did for him last year.
I was surprised they didn't keep him around for at least one more year, but with the Jameis Winston signing, there's no real room for him.
Getting out of the NFC South and coming up north, I don't.
It's a meh.
You gotta hope
Sean Watson's still gonna be there anyway.
He's not gonna have to play, but you think maybe he can win you a game if you need to. And then Cleveland also getting Jerry Jeudy from Denver, and didn't have to pay much for him. Jerry Jeudy did very underperforming there in Denver, very underwhelming.
Because he's not good. I'm happy the Browns signed him. Like you said, it's just that's a bad pickup. So take him, please.
They didn't spend much to get him. They didn't spend a lot, and to kick the tires on a guy. It was, to me, it kind of reminds me of when Buffalo kicked the tires on Kelvin Benjamin. Hey, he's a guy that has the intangibles. You kick the tires on him. And if you're back, they didn't spend much on him either. And if you succeed, it's great. You look good. If not, you cut him. You cut your losses and you walk away. You got nothing to worry about. So to me, I think it's a deal you make of, hey, if we have the right system and we can get the most out of him, he can really, really help us. If he can be successful on the other side of Amari Cooper, then you've got something going on there. And if he doesn't pan out, you didn't really spend much on him, so you don't have to worry about it. So I think it's low risk, high upside with Jerry Jeudy coming there to Cleveland. That's my opinion. I think you might get some out of it. I don't know. We'll see.
Right.
I don't think they will, but I could be wrong. You could be wrong.
Yeah.
And we'll happily say that we're wrong if we're wrong. I know you don't want to be wrong because you don't want him to be good because he plays for Cleveland.
Right. Yeah, I'm not necessarily scared of any of the signings Cleveland did this past week.
And then Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson coming to Pitt.
Mm-hmm. Kind of interested to see how he does, but I also want him to keep singing like he did in Denver because it's Schittsburg.
Very true. And one thing that's not going to help him is Deontay Johnson getting traded to Carolina.
He's not good. He wasn't. That's the question mark I have about the Panthers. Are you having a fire sale? Are you trying to stay competitive at the same time? Because, I mean, you're not getting first-round picks for Christian McCaffrey or Brian Burns. I don't know how you don't pull off a first-round pick with at least one of those guys.
They had offers for Brian Burns for first-rounders.
They did.
Beforehand from the Rams, and they turned it down.
They had 2 first-round options, and they turned it down. They had first-rounders from the Ravens, and they turned it down last year.
Carolina's owner, that owner there at Carolina is just maybe he's just a fan of like the Saints or something and bought the team to completely just destroy him. Like I want to take this team down. I mean, if it was like Minnesota and he was a Green Bay fan, that would make sense. It's more history. So I don't really know with Carolina who is their biggest rival. They just hate so much.
Right.
It doesn't make sense what they're doing. But
No,
I just don't know who all. I don't know what Russell Wilson like. Okay, you brought him in, but who is he? Like,
there's nobody to pass to. You got Pickens. That's it. George Pickens. That's your one receiver.
Came into. Is it better than Denver?
Well, he had to get out of Denver. I don't know if it's better, but he had to get out of Denver.
Well, Sean Payton came in, and he was gone at that point. He was a dead man walking. There was nothing he could do about that. But that situation he walked to when he came to Denver is the same situation he's coming into Pittsburgh. To me, it's the same situation.
I mean, at least the offensive line's okay, I think.
It's all right.
I mean, like I said, Jerry Jeudy is pretty low in my opinion. So you had maybe one receiver, 2, and
Courtland Sutton was good though. Courtland Sutton and George Pickens are not far off from each other.
No, that's what I'm saying. You had one apiece though each time, so I think you're basically evening out.
The only difference between I'd say Denver and Pittsburgh with him joining them at the times that he joined them is T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt is a far better player than anything Denver had on defense at the time. That's the only difference between the teams he's joining. So I get he needed to leave. And Pittsburgh needs an upgraded quarterback, and they didn't have a lot of options out there. At least they got rid of Trubisky. But at the same time, I don't see Russell Wilson having a lot of success because he has no one to help him be successful, and he needs players.
Well, I think this might be more of a move to hide Kenny Pickett. I think it's more of a move to hide Kenny Pickett and maybe up his trade value, hopefully.
Maybe. We'll see.
What do you mean by hide? What do you mean by hide Kenny Pickett?
Leaving him on the bench so he doesn't have to play and show how bad he actually is.
Well, I suppose, but I mean, the thing is,
everyone already kind of knows how bad he is. Trust me, they talk about it here in Pittsburgh all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
they already know.
I think that's the reality is that we're at the point where we know Kenny Pickett's a bust. So, and that's the reason why this is happening.
At least in this system, yeah.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and run through just a few different names, different teams real quick. So we'll just give a kind of quick response to them, to what you think about it right there. We're going to start over in the NFC East. Buffalo getting fleeced, signing Mitch Trubisky, 2 years, $5.25 million.
Boo.
I mean,
that's what else to say about that. They're completely robbed.
Yeah, their window's closing even quicker now.
Quick response. No full conversation on these. Just quick response.
All right.
Lightning round. Go. What do you think?
No.
Yay or nay? Oh, okay.
Jets signing Tyrod Taylor.
Yay. Good for them.
No.
I think it's a good signing. Especially if Rodgers goes down, he's a more serviceable backup who's come in and served
Exactly.
over Zach Wilson. I think he's been successful everywhere he's gone. He just keeps getting injured. I like it. All right, we're moving on.
Come on, lightning round. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
thought it was lightning around.
Jacksonville trading for Mac Jones and signing Gabe Davis from Buffalo.
Boo.
Who on both?
I say nay on both.
What do you got? Come on, Jeff.
So basically, I think you're getting a solid number 3 wide receiver in Gabe Davis, and I think you're getting a decent backup in with Mac Jones. I think he'll be more comfortable in that role as opposed to being relied upon as a starter in New England.
And we will see how that goes out there. Tennessee signing Mason Rudolph, Tony Pollard, and today Calvin Ridley.
One meh, one nay, one okay.
Nay on the sense that you're giving Calvin Ridley $23 million a year. I don't see where that comes from.
4 years, $92 million for Calvin.
Especially with Tannehill throwing to him or Malik Willis, whoever the heck they have.
It's going to be Mason Rudolph, as it turns out. Rudolph's going to go over Willis very quickly because Rudolph got a year, $3.62 million. That's all he got there. But then you paid Pollard, 3 years, $24 million. So you don't have that running game anymore. So it's going to be a little bit more stressful there on those quarterbacks.
Yeah. Sorry, Nathan Saban.
In Oakland, who let go Garoppolo and Hunter Renfrow today, but also had already signed Gardner Minshew, 2 years, $25 million.
Yay for Oakland, because I think they stole Gardner Minshew, and they saved $19 million by getting rid of Garoppolo. And
Minshew
and they've also had several signings on their defensive end that make the Raiders defense scary next year.
I like the coach. I like that they kept their coach, their interim in. I think he really turned the team around. Yeah, and Tony Pierce. I think he
won that locker room hands down.
When he took over the team, the locker room galvanized around him, and I think that was the right hire to keep him there. And Minshew jumped in his RV and rode it from his RV house and rode it from Indy over to Las Vegas. And seeing Gardner
he lives in his truck.
Las Vegas is going to be amazing because he's an animal. Yeah, that's going to be fun to see. Let's see. We've talked about that. The Giants bringing in Devin Singletary to fill Saquon Barkley's place. Decent season there in Houston.
Yeah. I'd say meh. I don't think he's going to repeat.
I don't either.
I'm going to say yay on that one. I think he's going to provide consistent durability that the Giants haven't had the running back position in a while. So, yay.
I don't think he had a lot of durability all through his time at Buffalo. He just had durability this last year in Houston.
Right.
He was always injury prone to Buffalo. I know that for fantasy. So if he can if he can have the same year that he had in Houston this last year for the Giants, then yes, I agree with you.
16, 17, 16, 17. That's all the durability I need in the past 4 seasons. I think that Barry's got it.
All right, who's next?
DeAndre Swift signing with Chicago. 3 years, $24 million.
Meh. It could be okay.
I'm gonna go with nay. I think that's too many years for a running back like Swift. I think
so as well, since his only good year he had was with Philly, and he barely had a good year there.
Right.
All right, next one. 1 year, $8.75 million. Sam Darnold signing with the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm gonna say yikes. It actually gives them a QB.
Is he the starter?
At this point, I think so.
Yay, and I'm gonna say he will start the season as the starting quarterback, but you'll not end the year as the starting quarterback because I think there's someone by the name of J.J. McCarthy that could be the starting quarterback.
Oh, so J.J. McCarthy's going to Minnesota. That's your bold prediction.
That's his hot take. Yeah,
that's my prediction right now. That is correct.
Nice. All right, that's all the big names that I had written down. Unless you guys want to talk about, we talked about Kirk Cousins earlier, so
yeah.
that's all I've got with those right there. All right,
Yeah,
well,
that's most of them so
I think
far.
we've hit most of the big. Those are all the big names I wrote down, and I wrote down every big name I could see. And we're not going through every single player, but we got to hit the big names that goes on there.
Sorry, we've gone through a ton though, so appreciate it.
Yes, we did. So we'll take one last quick break, and we will be right back here with Sports Gumbo.
That's good. That's good. Man, that's good. That's what you call gumbo. Poor man gumbo.
And we are back from the break and ready to get into our last segment, the last round, the Sports Gumbo. And I'll go ahead and get us started off here with my Gunners, Arsenal. Big win. Big win. They are now leading the English Premier League. They're tied with Liverpool, 64-64, with Manchester City 63. And this all happened because after our last broadcast, Liverpool and Manchester City did what I hoped they would do and tied at 1 goal.
Yeah.
Watched that entire game. It was awesome. It was 1-1, and that's just what I wanted to happen. It was perfect. So Arsenal still sitting there up front, and then this past Tuesday, Arsenal played FC Porto in the Champions League, which I have no idea what's going on, but they won. And they're moving.
That's the Champions League. That's the alternate league that they're playing in right now. So you can,
and that's why I don't understand what's going on. They're in one league, but they're playing in 2 leagues, and I don't know what's going on. But
just cheer for Arsenal.
I'm cheering for Arsenal.
They could win 2 leagues.
I can't. I don't get it. I don't understand any of it. I'm just rooting for Arsenal and just hoping they win. And so far, since I've started waving their banner, they have done nothing but win. And that's all I have to say, is that Arsenal is continuing to go. And my son is extremely happy that Arsenal keeps winning. And
they got a big matchup on Easter, right?
I have not told my son about superstitions and everything else and all that, but he is refusing to wash his Arsenal jersey. Refusing.
He understands. He understands.
He came on it naturally, that he is refusing to wash it because they are winning, which I find hilarious.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, but what was huge was the fact that Liverpool Man City tie happened on Sunday. That was one of the feature games of that.
Well, yeah, it was number 1 and number 2, give or take.
And they both ended up being a tie. Now Arsenal, considering they've beaten the crap out of these horrible teams in the EPL, they have the goal differential at the moment. Is that correct?
They have a 45 goal differential, which is unheard of.
Correct.
Yeah.
And which is 7 ahead of Liverpool right now.
As of right now, Arsenal is in the driver's seat to win the league championship. They
control their own destiny.
They control their own destiny. That's what they do. And it starts with their next EPL game on Easter Sunday against Manchester City. That game is going to be amazing. 11:30 Eastern Central Time. I don't know if that's going to be on USA or if you'll have to get it on Peacock. But
probably a Peacock, but hopefully it'll be on USA for Sunday.
That game, usually the bigger games they put on USA. They usually do. Or like the Manchester Liverpool was on, I think, Fox or ABC. Like it was on a bigger. You were able to see it on regular broadcast. That's the game that's going to be the one that does it. Liverpool is playing against a lot. The games they have left, the next 3 games at least that they put up are against lower tier teams. So
yeah,
if Arsenal can come out against Manchester City and do what they've been doing this last month, that they've been on a complete unreal tear. Once they score a goal, and they've been scoring usually right about the, I'd say 20, 25 minute mark. And from that point on, the floodgates have just been open. They've just unleashed hell on everyone they've played. It's been absolutely ridiculous. Have they been lower tier teams? Yes, they have.
But yeah, you're winning 6-0, 4-0 a lot of times, though.
The last 6-0 was against Sheffield, which is in the they're in the last spot. They're going to relegate. They're going down.
Yeah.
So I mean that's to be expected. But this last game against Brentford on Sunday, which they won 2-1. Brentford is a team that gives them a lot of problems. Has previously given them lots of problems, and actually this is the first time, and I think they said on the broadcast since the 2003-2004 undefeated year, the last time Arsenal won the league championship, this is the first time that they've swept Brentford.
That's so bizarre because Brentford is just, I mean, they're not going to get relegated this year, but still, just the fact that they're the bottom tier English Premier League team that they would give them.
They are, but they've always split with Arsenal ever since 2003-2004, which was the last time that Arsenal won the league championship, and they actually went undefeated that year.
Yeah, and that's insane to me.
It is. So there's a lot of talk about this team and how it's, yes, they've had some defeats this year, so they won't, match that undefeated streak that 03-04 team had, but how this team may be better just because of the point differential and the way that they're just completely pulling out.
Yeah, he said 45-point differential is almost just unheard of.
And it's 7 above. It's 7 above what Liverpool's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just absurd what they're putting up. Like when they start scoring, it's like chumming the waters. They just keep going at it. I mean, if they're going to score, if you let Arsenal score on you, they're going to score 6 on, or at least 4 on you. It's going to happen. They just find a way. And the way that they move the ball around, they keep it out of their zone. They keep it in the opponent's zone the entire time. They're working the ball around in every which way. It's just, it's amazing. It is. It's the way you need to run offense. If you're learning how to play, that's why. Hey, if my son's really into soccer right now, if he wants to go play soccer, by all means, he can go play soccer. Watch what they're doing. Do what they're doing. Follow this. This is an offensive clinic right now. What's going on right now? It's really amazing. It really, truly is. And and as a longtime Arsenal fan who's been suffering through so many years of just waiting for this team to finally achieve their potential. I'm just really glad that right now I'm just really getting to enjoy this long-awaited.
You jumped in at the perfect freaking.
This long-awaited. Hey! Quiet there, Weezy. All right, quiet there, Weezy. You didn't even get the reference, did you? The Jeffersons?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Jeffersons.
I don't watch the Jeffersons. I never
watched. Yeah, we're moving on up to the east side. So calm down.
Yes, I know the show, but I don't understand the reference.
Yeah, the wife, Wheezy.
Old man.
Calm down, Wheezy.
I know Wheezy.
Yes, that's why I said calm down, Wheezy.
I thought you said Whedon, like
Oh, God,
Brandon
it's not funny
Whedon.
when you have to explain it. God, you kill me.
Yeah.
God.
But as a
Well,
long time Arsenal fan, we've been waiting many, many years for this, and it's just great to finally, get to have the success. So,
Yeah. Congratulations, you long-term
wanted to say,
suffering
yes,
Arsenal
been
fan.
here. We've been suffering for so long, and 2 decades. Just finally get over that hump.
So great. So great. It's awesome. I feel for you.
I've been practicing this speech all week. Just wanted you to know.
Oh, all week.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, dang, Jeff.
I
Now
just
you
want to make sure
looking like
because
me there.
I've been supporting this soccer team for so long.
Yeah. For you, a long time. That's
So
true. Yeah, with
long
soccer,
that
that
I've
is
been
true.
supporting this team that we're finally having success. It's just
Right.
good thing. Gotta be
Just
happy
like Jeff's Nationals. He jumped right on that bandwagon at the when they had Juan Soto and Strasburg, and
Oh no, I didn't.
won
I
that
was
check.
I was on that.
I
on
know
that
you were
when
riding
they're
or
the
dying with the
Expos.
Nationals
Shut
before
up.
then.
So now the Juan
I
Soto's
know.
Yankees, a Yankee fan now, right?
I don't care. Juan Soto. Thank you for your services. Now you're gone.
Now you're gone. Oh.
Also, what I want to bring up in the gumbo is a team that I believe Chris Porter's still a fan of, if he's still
Maybe
a fan of hockey, is the Dallas Stars.
Yes,
go for it.
I still am, and my sons are fans of Dallas Stars because I've beat it into their heads and indoctrinated them.
The only thing that they were on a 5-game win streak.
That loss to the Panthers, though, was
yes, in a
They
very,
were
very
3-0.
I
they were
know.
up 3-0 against the best team in the NHL,
Looking
the Florida
good.
Panthers.
And then
Looking
just
good, and then they gave up 4 goals in the second and third period. All I need to say is this somehow cost them the division. If this somehow cost them the Western Conference, I'll be freaking pissed because
I don't think it'll be cost them the Western Conference. It was an Eastern Conference.
One win or loss doesn't.
I know, but the Canucks are at 91 points, and they could have got 2 points last night. And
they could have, and they lost points because
coulda,
of
woulda,
it.
shoulda. Yeah.
But you still have time. Still have time, and the Canucks have been faltering here soon. So, I mean, the Stars have been playing lights out. Even if they don't get the number 1 seed, that's fine. You don't have to be the number 1 seed to win it all.
No,
you
we
just
all know
have
that.
to go
You have
in.
the hot goalie, but Ottinger, that's another problem. He hasn't been playing so hot lately.
No, he hasn't.
Which was the problem. He started he has these good streaks and bad streaks.
Yes.
But playoff Ottinger has been very good.
That is correct.
And I will keep into playoff Ottinger, and we'll keep going as we're going. Hey, you can only go with where you end up at. So let's just get into the playoffs, and at that point we can, evaluate where we at, who we playing. We'll go from there. They should be in the playoffs. So we can talk about how that comes into who matchups when it comes to that point, and what are the good matchups when it comes to there.
We'll have some very important hockey conversations in the spring.
I'm not worried about really many teams in the West when it comes to Stars. I'm not worried. Like
that makes sense for the most part.
Edmonton has the scoring. Yeah, but Dallas is better than Edmonton. They have a better record. They've been better than Edmonton. They've beat Edmonton. Like, I'm not scared of Edmonton. I'm not. There's not a team in the West that I'm scared of. Even Vancouver, I'm not scared of Vancouver. If we meet Vancouver in the Western Conference Finals, I'm not afraid of them. Even if they have home ice advantage, I'm not afraid of beating them. I'm not. Like, this team has not given me a reason to fear any other team. They found ways to win, yeah. Last night they found a way to lose. They did. But that happens during the season. I don't want to build too much up to it because, we lost to the Florida Panthers, the best team in the league, here at the end of the season when we had a 3-goal lead and then lost it. Yeah, that's a sucky way to lose it, but they found ways to win. Look back a week ago when they were down 3 goals against the worst team in the league, the San Jose Sharks, and they came back and beat them in overtime. I mean, I'm not worried about this team. I'm not worried about the Dallas Stars. I look forward to watching the Stanley Cup playoffs, and because, in my opinion, the Stanley Cup playoffs are the best playoffs in all of sports. Having my team being high up in that I feel like I'm going to get to watch a lot of their games. Once
Every
again,
team has a
makes me
chance.
so happy because
Yeah.
I'm always invested in Stanley Cup playoffs because I just believe that it's just the best playoffs. Like,
Well,
you're going to
just look
see
at
the
last
best
year.
of everything.
Just look at last year. Florida Panthers and the Boston Bruins.
Yes.
Boston Bruins were unbeatable, and then
They knocked them out.
A team from Miami beat Boston again.
In hockey.
In hockey, yes.
Yep.
Yes. In winter sports. And that's the thing, is that the Stanley Cup playoffs are the best playoffs. They truly are. If you can name another one, bring it out. I'll tell you you're wrong. Because the Stanley Cup playoffs are the best. You just get to see so many, like, the players play harder than any other sport. It really is. You just see the most out of it. And being that my favorite team is going to be in it, I know I'm going to get to watch great hockey and we get to watch a great game. And I just look forward to it every year. I look forward to the Stanley Cup playoffs every year. It's one of my favorite things I always watch. And I cannot wait. And I know, and it makes it even better to wait for when I know the Stars are going to be in it. Because I know I'm going to get to see them. And I'm not afraid of anyone in the West. I mean, if we lose this, other teams I think we could lose too. Absolutely. I'm not thinking that they're going to just go win and win the Stanley Cup. Like, I'm not that homer.
You're not just giving it to them.
Yeah, I'm not giving it to them.
They got to play the game still.
Yeah, they do. Are there teams that could beat us? Absolutely. There's like Florida can beat us. They already proved it right there. But there's no teams I'm afraid of. There's no one I'm going, oh, God, if we match up with this team, they're just going to completely destroy us. There's nothing we can do with it. There's no team like that. As long as Dallas comes out and plays their game and plays the way that we know that they can play.
And that goes for either conference.
Yeah, either conference. I don't care who comes out of the East.
I know the Boston and Panthers are looking tough right now.
Boston out. I don't
care.
care.
Florida for 2.5 periods.
But did you
I don't
win?
care.
No, we didn't win. That's what was brought up earlier.
I know.
Give me a series, 7-game series against either one of them. I don't care. I feel good going into either one of them. If we lose it, we lose it. But I don't feel like this team, if we lose, like we lost that game to Florida. This last game, everybody's, the world is that we lost 3. We had 3-goal lead and we lost. Okay, put us in a 7-game series with them. Let's see. Because everything I've seen in this team, every time they've lost to a team, they've come back the next time they've played them and they've beat the living crap out of them. Like, it's been a completely different scenario every time they've seen them again. So I'm looking forward to it. I think this team adapts very well. I think if they lose, I think they learn from their losses and they play very well with it. So, yeah. I feel good about this team. I'm not going to say they're going to win the Stanley Cup. I'd love for it to, but I'm not afraid of any team going into the Stanley Cup. And this is one of the first times I've been able to say that about really any Dallas team going into the playoffs. It's like, I'm not afraid. I'm not worried. As long as we play our game, we have a chance. There's no one that's better than us. Like with the Cowboys, it's going in. I didn't think we'd lose to the Packers, but I was like, hey, we better play our fucking best if we're going to beat the 49ers, because otherwise we're not going to fucking beat them.
Yeah, the thing is with the Stars, if I'm a Stars fan and if I'm a Stars player, I feel great going into any game I go against you, regardless of who it is. I'm not intimidated.
Exactly. You're set and good to go.
Hmm.
Set and good to
Hmm.
go.
Fair
Because
enough.
I forgot what I was about to talk about. But oh well. Obviously, it wasn't important.
Yeah. It's Caitlin Clark.
No.
I know. Just giving him a hard time.
All right. Well, Joe
Villanova beat
Lombardi's
DePaul.
top 8 teams. Oh well, he's got North Carolina and Arizona in his second tier.
As they
It's all
should
right.
be.
He actually Lombardo had a Tennessee as his other fourth number 1 seed out of Houston, UConn.
As expected. And
And
Purdue.
That's fine.
Yep.
I have North Carolina, but that's fine. I've been duking it out with Lenardi for over
saw
20
that
years at this point. So
just popped up in TV, so I thought I'd bring mention of it.
So I don't mind beating Lenardi again if it takes it. So I'll do
Oh.
it again.
Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central Time, TCU in Houston
Yep.
That'll be good.
on ESPN.
Yeah, so about 2 o'clock, but most of the good games to watch are going to start tomorrow.
I know. Be sure, everyone, to tune into your bubble games tomorrow. They're going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We are ready to get this all taken care of and jump into the brackets. Please join our bracket. Come join in with us. It's up there. They're on ESPN, and we've got it out on all of our social media platforms so that you can join it. Just jump in, join in, and have your chance to win a $50 gift card. Like to and talk a little trash to us. See if you can beat us. Hey, if you win. Not only will you win a $50 gift card, maybe if you want to, you can come on to an episode and tell and talk some sports with us as well. We'll sweeten the pot a little bit. Hey,
Come on.
get in on the podcast and actually, come join us here and join this conversation. So we'll do that for the winner as well. Hey, because it doesn't cost anything.
It's
So-
all free.
Please join in. Join in social medias, like, follow, share to all of your friends, send us out there, join, bring the community bigger, and let's have a good time. Ready here for March Madness and getting this all going. So for Caleb Goldberg, Jeff Amos, this is Chris Porter. We'd like to thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you all at the next round. Cheers.
Cheers.
Have a good night, and we'll see you next week.